How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today I ended up doing the last mission. I've finally completed the Deluge map, 100%ed it, got every toy truck and all the rest of it. I just left this in quick while I was messing around. These, for some reason, I've started knocking the rail car thing off. I bagged up an AI though. He drove into it, and as I lifted the rail car, scooped him up with me. That's what he gets. Yeah, I don't know why they're knocking into it now. For a couple of days they were fine, and then tonight, every hour or two I kept seeing that the rail car was knocked over and the dozers were tipped, so I went to squash him with the rail car. It actually bit me because I just righted up the dozers, and then yeah, he knocked one over. Just lays there like a dead cockroach, wiggling his little wheels. That's what he gets though. Yeah, for the mission, I didn't, well, you can choose to bring a crane or not. I'm starting off from the industrial base, and it wants me to deliver 3 objects to the dam, but then there's also 2 infrastructure routes to do. One's not too bad, one's awkward because the cement trucks are pretty terrible. But we'll get to them. Yeah, so it wants me to get them over to there, 2 generators and a pump or something. 2 generators and a pump, like a cock and bulls. I knew Kelly was trying to hint something. Yeah, so I've built all this road going along here. I did actually have the road around there, but while I was getting sand from inside the radius, it kept spilling sand all over here. So I thought, sod it, I'll just build a road through there while I was kind of smoothing out some of the giant sand lumps that I left behind. It was a bit of a pain, because once you got a nice, neat road, then you got to drive somewhere to get sand, and then you got to kind of maybe off-road or whatever, unless you want the sand spilling all over your road. So I hope they fix that pretty soon. Yeah, so I'm taking the heavy transport thing, ZIC 605E, for this one. Strictly speaking, at least for this part, you don't need a crane, because when you get to the port, you've got the big yellow crane. But the controls are a little bit faffy and that on them anyway, and I don't know, I sort of feel like when I'm driving the heavy transport vehicle, it's almost a waste of driving it when the trailer's empty, if that makes sense. So even though I don't really need this, plus I will say I don't like how easily it gets stuck once you go off-roading and all that, but at least when you've got like even something as heavy as this crane on the back, it doesn't really, like, going along roads, it still feels like it's got plenty of torque and it ticks along at a nice speed and all the rest of it. It doesn't really make a difference on this sort of terrain whether it's the trailer's empty or not. So yeah, bringing a crane with me just for the hell of it. And yeah, I've kind of done roads from here. I need to build a road there later because the concrete trucks, well, you can send them obviously a couple of different ways. That's the route I chose in the end. Yeah, got that road properly connected up to the railroad and all the rest of it. I thought for once, since this is the final mission, I'll actually leave a bit of the drive, well, a bit, all of it, the drive there. Yeah, got a road going down there, that's for some other AI routes. And in general, it wasn't like, it was a mixture of things. I was just in a bit of a road building mood, to be honest. I kind of like, after playing it the last couple of days and building a lot of roads, some for the hell of it, then tonight I kind of got forced to with the cement trucks and all the rest of it. You can sort of tell where, like, this game not just isn't trying to be SnowRunner, but you can see how, like, I almost get why they've put a lot of, I'd say, terrible vehicles, use that in sort of loosely speaking, that don't do well off-roading, and it's like the mule purposely makes you go half a mile an hour all the time and is endlessly changing gears. Like, those of us that are used to SnowRunner, we naturally have the, like, the challenge is getting across the rough terrain and finding a route there and not tipping while you're going across rough terrain and all the rest of it. This game is like trying to be Roadcraft, where it's pretty much trying to say you can't get there unless you build roads, or at least it's going to be a slow, painful, boring struggle where obviously a road will make it a lot better. Yeah, once you actually start laying roads, a lot of the vehicles, I would say, sort of make more sense. Whether that's a good, well, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but in the scheme of things, it's like, fair enough, I understand that, and it is worth laying some roads down, like when I go on the Sunswept, and particularly Colonel, because I've heard that's quite a long map as well. I'll try and get some roads down early, which I did in this map, to be fair. I built the road from the tunnel exit base over to the machine yard and built bridges and all that, and I didn't even know it was going to end up being like a useful route or not. I just kind of like was messing around and yeah, fancied a road going that way. It's the same with the road I built yesterday, which was pretty much heading to this port. Well, the last little bit from the sawmill to the port I built when I realised this final mission I was going to have to drive there. But all the rest of it, again, I just had a bit of spare time. I was in a bit of a road building mood. It was helping sort it all out for the AI so they don't harass me every 10 minutes saying that they're stuck again on a new leaf that they've found. Yeah, so get to the port, reverse the crane off, already smashed the back up because I'm just driving off the trailer. I do like how good the turning circle is on this. Also, for what it's worth, just while I noticed it and remembered to say it, the blue beacons are flashing now. If I remember correctly, I don't think they were. The other day, I mentioned them, I said it's like a police crane, because over here, the only things with blue lights are police cars and ambulances, but as someone said, I believe they're in Canada, but in like North America in general, you've got like red lights and blue lights and all that on emergency vehicles. It was raining, so I just went for a little drive, did a little flip off there. The annoying thing is I did it again and I landed it, well, I landed sideways, but this vehicle floats, so it rights itself quite a lot. When I landed in the water sideways, I kept steering my steering left and right, and it was slowly pulling me deeper in the water, and then eventually that rotated me and I got out of there. But anyway, that was a little look while I was waiting for it to get sunny anyway. It was just a little look at the dam as it's all smashed up, because in theory this mission was going to fix it all up. And yeah, this little bit here is a little bit slow and painful, but it was sort of to prove the point. It's not that bad, I did edit some of it out. I basically, part of the reason I brought both cranes was I kind of already knew the answer, but just to kind of prove that this yellow crane, yeah, is just a lot slower, more faffing around, more awkward controls. For some reason, it wouldn't let me strap the cargo. It was saying the crane's in the way. It was like, really? For the straps? Is a bit extreme, a bit keen. The straps and just packing cargo in general is not as free range as it was on the SnowRunner. I'll get to that. And then when I bloody switched to this crane, immediately put the crane legs out and knocked the, well, at least one of those generator things I've got to pick up. Yeah, and then this is like, by comparison, how quick this is. Bear in mind, I already had the yellow crane kind of set up, leaning over here already. Yeah, so 2 cargo containers. You could fit them on a little better. Like, I dropped that there. I do end up moving it back a little bit, but as you can see, there's still a little bit of room. You could probably unflap the trailer, the ramps, put that blue thing right at the back, and when the trailer folds back up, it'll almost pinch it down with like the little ramp bits at the end of the trailer. Yeah, I believe again it was moaning about the crane being in the way, so I couldn't strap it. I don't know if it's this vehicle. I always hear like a little noise. Like, there, it did it again. It must be this vehicle. They did it actually. What was it? The Voron D, I think, in SnowRunner had some weird little, like, wastegate whistle, I think. I can't remember if they edited it out in the end. Anyway, while I was here and I actually had another crane and that crane and all the rest of it, I thought I'd see, because obviously in SnowRunner, it does let you do some mad configurations like this a little bit more freely. Sadly, I couldn't get this vehicle to pack. Obviously, for one, the same thing that straps the cargo is what packs, like, puts the wheel chocks under the vehicles now and sort of packs them to a trailer. So I unstrapped it, because, again, I have to, like, do it again. Yeah, it just was moaning then that the crane was in the way. I tried many more things, but I edited the vast majority out. I also parked it on the roof, because, again, you could do that with SnowRunner, but it was having none of it. I was pressing unstrap cargo. I tried many different configurations, moving it forwards, backwards, different wheels balancing on the roof. Yeah, I'm pretty convinced at this point that it's not going to do it. I think with SnowRunner they just kind of added it in and made pretty much every flat surface like you could pack stuff, but on this it sort of seems more like they've sort of purpose done with the straps, and then they added the vehicle packing as a separate thing, and they probably just added it to very specific areas like the back of this trailer. I don't know, the step pike flatbed thing, that sort of stuff. The links now, the double trailer one. Yeah, and originally I was going to, the crane looked like it was almost going to fall off, and when I reversed, it kind of shifted over and got more like balanced again, so I thought, sod it, I'll set off. I didn't have high hopes, and I wasn't too bothered anyway. One thing I already knew with this mission, I could do with this crane at the other end of this mission when I dropped these off. Hence why I thought, if I can get away with it, I possibly could have just put the crane, left it on those 2 generators, and maybe got it there, especially now that I've paved all the road and everything. It may have stayed on there. I think it was a bit more sketchy balancing on the roof, but whatever, I was just kind of testing and messing around. Yeah, I could have gone through my little shortcut on the right there, but I'll go the full way around. Took bloody ages in the end to pave all this and roll it. Yeah, it's depending where you are. If you're in a sand quarry, it's not that slow to build roads. Obviously, the further you get from a sand quarry, it takes longer. But yeah, the paving and that, you can't really speed that thing up. Oh, chance, mate. It's like, now he can't shove me around or anything like, yeah, eat trailer. I get priority. Trying to fix a dam here, goddammit. Yeah, and again, a little drive back. Like I say, once you've got roads, everything does flow a little bit more smoothly. Certainly does help. And it depends to a degree as well. Like the, I think this map suits making more roads quite well. They definitely need to sort out where you're able to place scalpers. Again, with that building factory guys video, that helped, and I managed to find a place for me racetrack. And there is a couple of other locations, but yeah, that definitely puts you off a bit. Because if you actually get up the sand quarry radiuses and look at the map, there's probably like 30% of the map maybe covered by quarries, and the fact that the scalper is awkward kind of puts you off. You can end up just wasting 10-20 minutes driving around and not even being able to deploy the scalper, and at that point it's like, oh, I could have done 10 or 15 runs back to a sand quarry radius and carried on laying my road and all the rest of it. So yeah, it's, apart from that though, within reason, this map mostly, I don't know, didn't feel like it was a bit of a troll with laying roads. There were certain bits it was kind of pretty obvious you need to lay a road. There were certain AI missions where it gave you the Voron, for example, and they were actually pretty decent at getting across off-roading bits that I then didn't have. I wasn't forced to build a road. It would obviously make it easier. Going along here, I was enjoying my view, my new road and all the rest of it, and I was like, God damn it, why is it like sunset? We'll just have a bit of sun. I think since they've done a little micro patch the other day, because I had to re-download half the game, I think they've added rain and that back a bit more again. By the way, I know this is completely ridiculous. Can anyone else see either like a dolphin or like Moby Dick in that pond weed while I was waiting? There's like his head, there's his eye, there's his like teeth, got his mouth open, there's his jaw. Looks like he's sort of jumping out of the water a bit. Or it's dolphin, he's back. He didn't make it over from SnowRunner, but he's back in spirit, good for him. Yeah, I know that's completely random, but while I was waiting I saw it, and I was like, God damn it, I need to know if I'm the only one that can see some kind of Moby Dick whale dolphin thing in the pond scum. Yeah, again, built all this yesterday with no idea it was going to really... Well, actually, by the time I got to about here, I realised one of the later missions, the final mission, was... It'd be useful to go this way, but obviously you don't have to go this route. But yeah, I just built it because I had plenty of time yesterday. And again, there was like a muddy crossing to the industrial islands, and I know it was ruthless, so I was like, sod it, I'm building a road. Yeah, along to here, for what it's worth, while I was waiting as well for the sun to come out, I recovered the crane to the industrial base, but then just drove it here, so it was ready to chuck all these things off. Don't know why, for some reason I quite like just lifting everything high and dropping it now. Seems to be my new thing for a little bit. And then yeah, you can see me, I left my Don 72 Malamute thing parked on the dam. For some reason it's like, possibly you might catch the game out with a glitch where because I knew it was going to do some kind of animation and fix the dam, which I was hoping for now, hence why I was moving the camera around. I was like, oh yeah, shit, I've got to do 2 bloody infrastructure routes. So the first one, the awkward one with the cement trucks, go out here, down there, that's where I all need to build a road, and then it connects up to this road I did yesterday, which thankfully, because it turns out like I would have spent, God no, I spent a lot of tonight building roads anyway. And then the second one is from the production facility down here. Thankfully it's Vorons, and even see like this route is pretty rough, but it actually, that mission was no hassle for me. I ended up having to do the line around there in the end. I could use my bridge, but the U-turn they'd have to do at the bottom of it, it's not worth it. Yeah, that mission actually completed without any hassle, like the Vorons made it. These, though, by comparison, this is how ridiculous they are. Immediately, like, I've paved it, but obviously the sand didn't quite get that far, and it just immediately punches through, has no strength. So I've paved all going back there over the horizon. And then as it's going along now, see how they've, like, it's got a bit of momentum built up, and it's not really chewing the ground up now. I could see what was going to happen a mile off as well, hence why I panned the camera around. If you wanted to time those two vehicles hitting, because that's the only bit where they were, like, close enough to meet, it'd take you hours to judge it and get it right. But then when I reset them off, because they had no momentum, you can see how before it just left, like, shallow little lines. Now it instantly sinks, so I had to build a road. I basically pretty much went to that bridge, and then at the other side of that was all this road I built yesterday. Yeah, they get stuck there, there. All over the bloody place. I had to keep driving back to about there to get sand from a quarry radius. And then as they're about to get there, I block them, because again, sunset. I wish there was an option just to change the bloody weather, because the amount of times it's not the right weather. Yeah, they kept ramming into me, and they wouldn't just give up, so I ended up having to kill one of them. Yeah, they must have been pushing me like an inch every time they both rammed into me. So they were considering progress is being made, and they wouldn't sod off. Yeah, one last final look at the dam. It looks more like it's been hit by a missile attack than a whatever they're saying it was. An earthquake or a hurricane, God knows, probably both. Yeah, then they were heading there, and then it was like, oh, you son of a bitch, like, start getting the bloody frame rate thing going on. So I quickly, just by the skin of my teeth, managed to cancel the mission. But then now, same as last time, they've got no run-up. So the first time they made it off there, but now because they're starting fresh, they got stuck. I went to ram him, was like, lucky bastard. Just tapped out. In the end, I just drew the line round, because it just seemed to be that little bit that was sinking, and I couldn't really be bothered bringing another load of sand. I've done about 5 or 6 hours more of road building tonight. Yeah, fixed the dam though. Looks pretty good to be honest. I said to someone, and I wasn't lying, if I don't like the look of the dam when it gets fixed, I'm going to bury it in the sand. But I actually think it looks pretty decent after getting it fixed up. And then yeah, unlock an achievement for basically just completing the map. The last straw.
That wasn't easy. You did good work there. I don't know about you, but this calls for a celebratory coffee.
She likes a coffee.
You earned it.
I did. Yeah, it's a little bird's eye view of it, and then that comes up. Yeah, we got a links from this map. I didn't use a bulldozer to go to the barge and those stupid cement trucks on a dam. Although me, goddamn professional isn't flying the plane. Not sure how I feel about that, but he did. Yeah, and then you get a mission. You hear that noise that something's failed before I even got to go back to the map. I already knew instantly who and what it was going to be, despite the fact I've just built a road for them. Yeah, it's saying he got stuck there, and it's like, really? The ground's solid. This is how useless they are. It just couldn't ramp up that tiny little lip. And then it did actually get stuck, but now I'm here. Obviously, it's like, oh shit, boss is watching. So it just made it. But yeah, that's how horrifically terrible. They're in serious running with the semi-truck. They might even be worse than the semi-truck, strictly speaking. My first experience of them was on Sojourn, and they're actually alright. They made it first time for me, but yeah, I remember someone saying they're pretty terrible. For what it might be useful to like one person, but you can drive up the dam. I've not been able to get up there properly, and it won't let me fire a winch out to the lamppost or anything. But yeah, dam's done anyway. Quick driver across the top certainly does make it better and cleaner and nicer, smoother to go for a nice run across on my racetrack. Still didn't get rid of those red rails, but it's a start. They'd already knocked me thing down, but one, I wanted to do a jump when it was sunny. Two, yeah, I was trying to get the concrete things there in time with sunniness and all the rest of it, and they just kept knocking that bloody... I put it up about 3 or 4 times tonight. That's what she said. Yeah. And then, yeah, there's a view from the goddamn professional. It's like the back end of the map. I think that's like the machine yard. You can see some of my racetrack. The right tip of the wing there is where that rail thing and the dozers are. There's a bridge. Yeah, like overall, pretty cool map, I reckon. Here's one last final scan over it. The green explanation mark things are toy truck locations. There's all the infrastructure routes and the electricity I laid, pipes fixed, all of it. Yeah, like I say, overall, I did enjoy this map. I think it was a pretty good one. So I've still got my racetrack and that, so I'm sure I'll come back at some point and mess around with it. Can still use it as a bit of a practice map for laying more roads and all the rest of it. Yeah, so overall, pretty good. That's about it for today, though. Hope you've enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Get yourself a loaf because he's a goddamn whopper. And I'll be back soon.